వీళ్ళేరి సుజాతల సుంతాయి లలిత వాళ్ళిద్దరు కాదు మాట్లాడాలి కదా సైకాలజీ తెచ్చుకున్నాను నేను తెచ్చుకున్నాను నేను మాట్లాడు సార్ ఇది మినిమైజ్ చేసి స్క్రీన్ ఇది స్క్రీన్
మీది పైన నొక్కండి పైన ఒక మైక్ So good afternoon everybody. Namaskar to everybody. So I welcome you all to this orientation workshop on the new curriculum which the Department of Education Osmania University has launched for the M.Ed program starting from this academic year 23-24. So respected senior professor and head Department of Education, Professor T. Murani Madam Garu, the Chairperson Board of Studies in Education, Dr. Sunita Madam, the Chairperson Board of Studies in Special Education, Dr. Lalita, and all the faculty members of Department of Education, Osmania University, and all the distinguished principals of colleges of education offering M.Ed program, all the faculty members and all the students from all the departments of education in different universities of Telangana. I welcome you all to this orientation workshop. This orientation workshop is basically convened to discuss and introduce the new curriculum that we have launched from this academic year for M.Ed program, and also the new evaluation pattern which is being introduced in Osmania University. As you all aware, Osmania University has shifted from the traditional mode of evaluation to a continuous and comprehensive evaluation CCE, where at the postgraduate level we will be having the CCE mode, which is a relative grading mode. So with this, I request Professor Munali Madam to kindly give her insights into this program and then take this program ahead. Thank you very much, Madam.
Thank you, sir. Hello. Very good morning to all the principals of different colleges of education offering postgraduate M.Ed program. You're all welcome to this program. And we request all principals to pay attention to this new revised scheme of evaluation and the whole program that we have launched for this academic year 23-24. So today we will be just having an overview of the scheme and structure of the program, and also try to take a glance at the first semester syllabi with the respective teachers. So when we I will open the screen and start off with the program, because you all know about the scheme and structure I have shared with all the teachers belonging to different colleges of M.Ed program. So from my screen you can share, or from your documents you can share about the program. So the scheme and structure goes like this. And you know about the spirit of this particular program. This year, all over Osmania University, they are offering the curriculum with a revision related to continuous comprehensive evaluation, CC. Earlier, we also have CBCS, that is choice-based credit system.
Madam,
is
ఒక్క సెకండ్ మేడం. మేడం ఒక్క సెకండ్. మేడం ఒక్క సెకండ్ మేడం.
ఓకే.
ఎక్స్క్యూజ్ మీ మేడం, ఒక్క సెకండ్. మేడం, సునీత మేడంది ఏదైతే మొబైల్ ఉందో అది మ్యూట్ చేయండి మేడం. మీరు ఏదైతే సిస్టమ్ ఆడియో ఉందో అది ఆన్ చేయండి. సునీత మేడంలో ఓన్లీ వీడియో పెట్టండి మేడం, మీరు కనిపిస్తారు. మన సిస్టమ్ ఏదైతే ఉందో సిస్టమ్ ఆడియో కరెక్ట్గా ఉంది మేడం. ఆడియో స్టార్ట్ చేసి మీరు మాట్లాడండి మేడం, వాయిస్ క్లియర్ వస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు.
హలో.
Yes, madam.
Is it okay now? Fine?
Yes, madam.
Okay, I will go with this presentation.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, so I have already initiated the discussion about the curriculum that we have revised for this academic year 23-24. So the spirit of this particular curriculum basically is National Education Policy 2020, that whole spirit we have taken, and across the curriculum you will find that spirit, passing through various programs and courses that we are offering in this. Exclusively, there is also a paper on IKS like that. So now we will start with the whole program, scheme, structure, and first semester papers. Maybe some 6 papers we have. So all those papers also paper by paper we'll discuss once we finish the structure and scheme of the program. So this particular course that we have revised for this year, one, we are following the university where they made curriculum as continuous comprehensive evaluation. That is major focus of this curriculum. And earlier in vogue, we have choice-based credit system, CBCS, that is also in place. And other than that, we also have the foundation courses and professional competency courses and elective courses. This time, like last 2014 curriculum framework, where secondary and elementary streams we don't have now, we are going with the elective courses that will be offered, that will be the choice for the students. And remaining other courses, we have foundation courses and other professional competency courses. Then we also made one essential component in this about internship, which is already there. And apart from that, essentially MOOCs we are introducing this time. And by the end of the 3rd semester, all the teachers should encourage the students to enroll for some MOOC courses of 2 credit program. And they all have to join for this MOOC program anytime from 1st semester to 3rd semester. But by the end of the 3rd semester, all the students, you see that they complete their MOOC 2 credit program, which is offered by Swayam. On Swayam, let them go to the website and then enroll for them for some courses related to teacher education, or some generic courses which will help them in the professional competency development. For instance, now we will be sharing that link to you on your principal's group about the communicative English. This is also a part of our curriculum under the professional competency courses. We are calling communication skills in English. So this particular program, please encourage them to join so that they develop an understanding and insight into the MOOC program. And apart from this also, let them go on taking many more programs which can be added to their academic bank of credit. ABC we call in NEP. It's already launched. Anybody can really enroll into courses, complete the courses, and then put those credits into their academic bank of credits ABC. So please make it mandate for all the students. So this is a major shift and change that you can see from the past curriculum to the present curriculum. Then internship, earlier we had in 2 phases. Now we will not have in 2 phases, only 1 phase. In 1 semester we will be offering, but the 2 components of that we will try to squeeze into it. Then dissertation, earlier we had 3 semesters offered, but now we are offering only in the 2nd, 3rd and 4th semester, that is 2nd year program. So all those details in the scheme and structure I will be discussing with you, but this is the major spirit of this particular program. And apart from this, Madam, your phone. Apart from this, you also have the basic understanding in this particular program is the revision is more focusing on continuous comprehensive evaluation, which I have already told you. But in spite of that, I'll be again insisting on this, where attendance is given some good weightage in this particular revised curriculum, where in each paper, 10% of the score will be given to their attendance, regular attendance. If they have complete attendance, then they will be given 95 to 100. All those details I'll be discussing. So main focus point is to regularize the students' attendance and conduct the classes regularly and also transact the curriculum effectively, continuous comprehensive evaluation should go on in the real spirit. So what all will happen in the almanac which we have shared, you must have seen, every month we have one internal assessment. That is around 4 internal assessments we have to conduct, and immediately the valuation has to be done and it has to be uploaded into the university, space that they will provide it to us. And the same script after valuation, immediately in a day or two, you must show to the students, take their signature on the sheets. And this particular thing should be endorsed. And little more details about this continuous comprehensive evaluation, our principal will also speak after a while once I finish that scheme and structure. So these spirits you have to take into mind. The other issues you all know about the reflective practices, engagement with the field, inclusive aspects, Indian knowledge system, mentoring concept, grading concept. Grading we are following from the university. So most of these guidelines we have taken from the university. These particular guidelines are available on our website. Now you can see all other details like whether it is certain definitions we have provided. I will not be reading them out. You can go through that particular document where what is this academic senate, what are those academic authorities, what is the executive council. These are all certain statutes and statute bodies, certain customary things mandated in the university structure. Those things are explained here so that teachers will get familiarized, students will get familiarized with the whole system of university. The major focus for us and students is important is choice-based credit system, which I have already told you. So they have the choice of elective here. We no more have the diversion or deviation as primary and elementary segregation of the courses. Then continuous assessment we are using here word. So there we have 4. We have given one annexure at the end of the 36-page document. I will be showing to you in this document also. You can focus on that once I come to that point. Then core courses means our foundation courses, core courses, they are alternately used in this. And you know about credit, it is the academic, input that we give, like per week, how many hours you have to spend. Depending upon that, the credits are assigned. So we have around 6 classes we are offering per week, because some of the in between we get some gap of internship and other things. So that will take care of these 100 days. So like that, the credit transfer wherever necessary in the university, they are doing this credit transfer, but we may not have in real spirit the credit transfer. And we have foundation courses semester by semester. I will be discussing with you once I enter into that. And then grade point, this time it is not absolute grading, but they are doing relative grading, where they are standardizing the scores that are obtained by us. Little more details will be thrown light by our principal after a while. Then the duration of the course and number of years per semester, these all are in vogue. Whatever is there, we are going to continue with that, whatever is existing now with the NCTA guidelines. So similarly, one more in the attendance, minimum 80% attendance every student should have. If at all they lose attendance, the percentage of 80%, if they don't possess, at least 70% if they have, on condonation of 10%, by paying certain fee prescribed by the university, they will be allowed for the examination. If they fall below 70% of attendance, neither they are given marks for the attendance, nor they will be allowed for the examination. So all the colleges are requested to strictly adhere to the percentage of attendance by insisting on their continuous evaluation, where attendance is also associated for every mark. The 10% of mark is deducted for, added for the attendance. If they don't possess, it will be deducted from that. And if they don't possess required attendance, they will not be allowed even for the internal assessments also. Please take into account these strict guidelines given by the university and adhere to them. And all other infrastructure and other things, equipment, materials, these all we have to go with the NCTA guidelines. And CCE, CBCS, all these are there, you have to follow them. Then this is the structure we have for the 4 semester program. First semester, they have foundation courses or core courses, we call them. We have 4 foundation courses, which are called as philosophy of education, advanced educational psychology. This is in advance to what we are studying at the B.Ed level, because we have 2 courses on psychology at B.Ed. So an edge of that, it may look little cumbersome for you when you look at the syllabi. It is little complex and higher end. So you have to bear with that, because students coming from B.Ed should have little more higher end advanced educational psychology. Again, these details will be discussed in the respective papers. Then, like we have earlier, philosophy we had, psychology we had, economics we had, research in education we had. So same papers are continued, but little more, I can say the difficulty level is increased so that we can enhance the continuous attendance of the students. Then we have coined the name as professional competency courses. Like we have in B.Ed, we are calling them as ability enhancement and value added courses. Like B.Ed, those courses here we are calling them as professional competency courses, PCC. You can give the acronym to that. Then fifth paper and sixth paper belonging to this professional competency courses, where earlier also we had yoga and professionalism, but that title was little different. Now we are focusing 2 units on yoga and 1 unit on professional development of the teachers, where we call professionalism. And next paper, sixth paper, is on competencies of communication in English. This we are calling it as communication skills in English. Please, you have to rectify this. I will change and send you later on. This is called as communication skills in English. Then we have second semester. If you see the second semester, this is 20 credit program first semester. Similarly, 20 credit second, third, and fourth semesters. We have total credits. Then seventh paper is again 7, 8, 9, and 10. These 4 papers are foundation courses. We have curriculum. Earlier also we had curriculum. Now we are adding little more frameworks and credits and standards like that. Some more essential components necessary for the curriculum design and development. Those aspects we will discuss in the syllabus when we discuss in the next subsequent program for the second semester, third semester, and fourth semester. So then when you are looking at this curriculum design and development, one paper, the other one is sociology of education, then psychological testing we have, and organizational behavior and leadership. I think these all papers also we have studied earlier in our curriculum. Only with little change in the curriculum contents, we are going with the similar kind of things. And earlier we had many academic writing and many other aspects were there. So we clubbed all of them. We made under the professional competency courses as academic writing, which also includes other academic, the writing components we have given. So we clubbed them into academic writing. Then exclusively there will be 2 credit program. For the psychological testing in first semester, you have 2 credits, that is the theory paper. And this will be exclusively a laboratory based program for experiments in psychology. So this is also another 2 credit program where our psychology labs will become activated, and all the students have to sit there and conduct their experiments, write the records. All these details will be given to you once we come for the second semester orientation. Then we have community service and engagement learning. This also we can ఇందులో ప్రసన్న కుమార్ అని ఉంటది, ఆ పేరుకి షేర్ చేయాలి కిషోర్ లో నుంచి. ఓకే, ఎం. సో లైక్ దట్ మ్యూట్ చేయమ్మా వేరే వాళ్ళు. The third semester, in the second semester, you have professional competency courses, as I said, academic writing and experiments in psychology, and community service and engagement learning. This is again going in a very, very true spirit about the community service engagement. We will be tying up with some other group of people where we have added one elective course on gerontology. So if students take that or don't take that, we will try to see that this community engagement will become in a true spirit, going to the villages and then adopting so many things. These all guidelines will be supplied to you once we come to that orientation. Then if possible, the expert, if they are available online, then I will take them and I will ask them to discuss with you. You all know about W.G. Prasanna Kumar. If he is free, I will ask him to join. And after our orientation get over, then at the end of the session, he will join and explain about what is expected in this community service. We are calling it as community engagement learning, not community service, engagement learning, community engagement learning. Please, you have to bear with me. Certain editions I could not do. Without that, I have sent you. So I'm putting the same document for you. So the third semester, with again 4 foundation courses, we have history of education and teacher education, one paper, instructional strategies in higher education. So here most focus will be laid on the instructional strategies, where we are empowering the teachers in helping them to guide our student teachers by understanding instructional strategies in higher education, because these are prepared for the higher education, teaching the teachers of teachers. So this is where we are training the M.Ed students to help the teachers to really implement the strategies of teaching at the higher education level. And also in the pedagogies, they will train for the school, that is a different aspect. Then we have another paper, Foundation, Comparative and International Education. This is another exclusively a new paper is added to us, and instructional also new paper. History, of course, we know that we will be able to put them together and make them to understand the whole historical backdrop of education as well as teacher education. Then we have comparative and instructional education. This is a new paper added with a spirit to make our students to review some of the international education systems that are available, whether it is a school system or teacher education system or higher education system at all the levels. Let us take, for instance, Finland is supposed to be very best system in the whole globe. That is what people are saying. So let us also review this kind of different countries' curriculum, both at the school level and also at the higher education level, and with a specific focus on teacher education programs. So with this, some 2, 3 or 4 countries, if we take into account, then what happens? The students will develop an understanding about the system of education, how this system is really different from our system, and what are the best practices in the other systems and what are the best practices in our system. So like that, they have to make a comparative note of all the systems of education existing in various countries. At the international level, we are having a comparative study. So this is the spirit of this particular program. So we will carry out this particular things in the 3rd semester. Then in the professional competency courses, we have again introduced 2 new things for us. One is artificial intelligence tools in education. We have added technology and artificial intelligence as a component, as a paper at the UG level, that is B.Ed level. The same, a continuation of that. The students, there may be so many thousands of tools are there, AI tools are there in education to utilize. We may not be able to comprehend all those tools. So we need to really restrict. In the syllabus, we have done that. I have that syllabus with me. Later on, we can share in the subsequent orientation program. So in the AI tools, students will learn many tools. These days, total market and total system and everywhere it has captured. So we will also try to capture this trend in the education system by adopting certain suitable tools for our education system and also in teaching learning process. So that is the spirit of that AI tools in education. Similarly, we have Indian knowledge system. The same title paper will be there at B.Ed level, but the curriculum will be little different from B.Ed level to M.Ed level. And this particular paper focus, we have some kind of reorientation or reinforcement of our philosophy paper, both at B.Ed level as well as at M.Ed level. So this will help them to really stick to the Indian ethos and culture, tradition, and all our Indian knowledge system. Then this is one more I have told in the beginning itself. It is mandated course for all M.Ed students to complete 2 credit online program that is offered by Swayam portal by our government of India. So in the recent past, they have launched n number of programs. Please ask your students, you also look into the Swayam portal and see the programs. Whatever we have on hand, we will post in your group, but you can also visit the Swayam portal and know what programs are being offered currently, and ask all the students to enroll at least minimum 1 program of 2 credit course. So this is a mandate for all of them. By the end of 3rd semester, they all should complete this particular course, and this will be reflected in their memoranda of mark. Then we have dissertation started in the 3rd semester, that is 2nd year, with a 2 credit program where they have to start identification. You all know identification. Then to the extent of tool designing, 3 chapters they have to complete. And in the 4th semester, that is the last spell of their course, we have again 3 generic courses, that is foundation courses: sustainability in higher education, policy planning and financing in education, Indian constitution and democracy in education. So these foundation courses will be there. Of course, you know about this sustainability in higher education. So our NEP policy has extensively discussed on this area. So we will see how about the access or enrollment or quality of education and taking care into the SDG goals, all those gender issues, everything, how we can really create that sustainability. The course is taken care of that. Then policy planning, all the policies apart from the historical aspects of Indian education system and teacher education system, we will be focusing more onto the planning and finance, how they affect the quality and sustainability of the teacher education. Components will be covered into this. Then we have Indian Constitution. All of you know there is Indian Constitution paper exclusively dedicated even at UG level. It is such a huge and vast portion in the Constitution. We will be focusing more on educational component of Indian Constitution, and we will be highlighting the democracy aspect in our education system. Then we will continue with the dissertation in 4th semester with 6 credits. That is 2 credits. They will complete their document in terms of data collection and then compilation of the report by analyzing the data, collected data. There will be pre-submission and also final examination with Viva OC practice. What we are in practicing now, the same thing would continue, but now we will have 80 credits, 200 score. So this is all about dissertation. And apart from that, we have last spell in this is the elective courses we have put here. We can even little change if you have anything in mind. At the end of the session, you can share that this is something very current topic or current area of knowledge which we can offer to our students. Definitely, we will try to accommodate before we squeeze the program. One program is gerontology and peace education, human rights education, women education, open and distance learning, skills for entrepreneurship. So this can be little modified if at all you have any ideas. And before squeezing, we will try to finalize all the titles, little more changes if any we will make, and then try to give all these things to you. Now, this is the whole program with 80 credit program. Every semester you have at the rate of 20 credits. Together we have 80 credits, and foundation courses around 52 courses, and your professional competency courses 14 credits, internship 2 credits, and dissertation 8 credits, electives 2 credits, MOOCs program 2 credits. Together it is 8 credit program. Now, scheme of examination, you know it. I don't need to read it out, but the change I will insist and then tell you. 50 marks only they are going for the final university examination, and the remaining examination 40 continuous. I have already discussed with you, and again Murthy sir will reorient you on this. 40 marks for your continuous assessment, where 4 internal assessments and all those we will show you, and then 10 marks exclusively, 10% exclusively dedicated to the attendance of the students, regular attendance and also attendance in the tests, whatever we do, that only then they will get the marks, otherwise they'll get the 0 and they'll not be allowed for the examination. If the score, that is the credits are 2, the marks will be 25 university examination, and 20 marks will be our continuous assessment, and 5 marks will be for the in the attendance part of it. Like that we have in semester 1 500 score, semester 2 450 score, and semester 3 500 score, semester 550 will come, then semester 4 550 score. So like that we have together 2000 score is there for all the 4 semesters. And weightage of attendance I made into red because we have to change according to our NCTE. So there the last one only will change, remaining all will be there, 75 to 80, 5 marks we will give, but if they fall below 70, they will not be eligible for the examination, and they have to go for the condonation fees if at all they want to write the exam. If it is below 70, they will not be eligible to write the examination. So this also holds good up to 5 marks, but up to 70 to 74, we can say the 4 marks will be given. If it is below 70, not 65, below 70, then below 70, if it is there, then they will not be allowed for the examination. They have to take readmission along with the next batch. So this is all about this. And then you have award of grades, as I have already shared in the beginning. These are not absolute grades, these are relative grades. And this relative grading also standardized by them with the standard Z scores. This again will be explained by Professor Murthy. He will try to help you. And then theory examinations, all that 40% marks are enough to pass for the students. But however, even if they pass or not, they will not have any eligibility for going any higher education if they don't possess higher scores. That you have to inform them, though pass percentage is 40%. They will not have eligibility for anything if they don't possess 55%. These teachers have to inform to the students. Even in the dissertation, you have 50% of the marks as essential to pass the examination. and internal assessments. These are I have mentioned to you. So the whole 10 plus 10 plus 10, this is the abstract I will show you. These are all guidelines, you know. This is the abstract. You can see first internal, second internal, third internal, fourth internal. Again, sir will explain detail. This system is like this, where in this month of January, you have to conduct 2 internal assessments because December you could not do because of some of the communication gap. So what you have to do is now immediately in this week, you conduct one test, whatever you have taught them so far with this kind of structure. First test you may conduct with multiple choice questions where there will be 1 half mark multiple choice questions, MCQs, 10 questions, 5 marks. Similarly, 10 questions, each 1 mark, fill in the blanks with 5 marks, half mark each, 5 marks. So 20 marks they have to have. Similarly, second internal assessment will go with the short answer questions, 10 marks at the rate of 1 mark each. Similarly, third assessment, there are so many things they have given. So we can also adopt mechanism where we may give them field engagement based on that report writing. Or we can think of all these things, reflective journal, book review, report writing, so many they have given. So this we will fix for you. Maybe we can say field-based, experience-based report writing we can invite our students to do. We will allot them some field-based exposure and they will go to the field, collect some material and then come back and write a report on that and submit and present to us. So for the presentation, for the field visit, attendance, again within these 10 marks, if they are not present all through the days, accordingly the marks have to be awarded to them. That is 10 means around 1 mark will be there for the attendance. So all those things you have to take into account. Similarly, fourth internal assessment, we can give 1 assignment per paper with 5 marks and 1 seminar presentation with 5 marks. So with this 4 kind of continuous assessment keeps happening. This is the question paper pattern. They are very specific about the question paper and question type also, type of the item also they are very particular. They're giving in the part A 5 questions, like earlier we had 2 marks each, 10 marks. And in these 5 questions, 1 question will be recall type of a question. The second question is also recall type of question. Then question 3 will be understanding 2 marks, and then fourth question is also understanding type 2 marks. Then fifth question is application type of question. 2 marks. So like this, we have 10 marks are distributed with the recall, understanding and application type of questions. Together for part A, you have 10 marks for them. Under part B, again, you have 5 questions they have to answer. And you see here, there is no choice for them. They have to attempt all the questions. So thoroughly, they have to grill the syllabi and ready to write all the exam questions given in part B also. So in part B, you have 6 to 10 questions. Each question has 2 parts, question 1 and question 2. 4 marks is application. So first question, all the questions will be with application type and also application type, analysis type. So you have 1 question application, 1 question analysis in question number 6. Each carry 4 marks. So together it's like an essay question only, but divided into 2 bits, A and B. Like that 7th question also based on critical thinking. First is on application base. Second is on critical thinking. Third is on practical problem solving ability. So question 1 is on application again. Question 2 on synthesis. Like that they have divided the marks for each. 8 marks. Similarly, question 9 is case study examination based, where you may give some cases from our syllabi based on the syllabus. We can ask them to write an analytical, write up on the case that we presented. Similarly, second question under 9th question, that is B, evaluation type of it, where we have to give some kind of judgment, assessment kind of thing, 4 marks. Similarly, the 10th question will be on synthesis and evaluation basis, where it is synthesis of knowledge. It is mostly they are focusing on the Bloom's taxonomy part of it. So all this is the question paper for the 50 marks question paper. If it is 2 credit course, we will have only 1 hour. And one more thing you have to notice is the duration of the examination is only 2 hours. 2 hours, 50 marks, and part A, part B have discussed with you. Similarly, if it is 25 marks paper, that is 2 credit paper, only 25 marks we have, only 1 hour test will be there. For that, accordingly, the time is divided and questions are also divided. In the short note, we have again 5 questions where 10 marks are given. Remaining 15 marks are given with 1 question at a time. That is not like A and B, but we are giving 5 marks each, 5 questions. So recall type of questions, understanding type of questions, and then application type of questions. So like that, we can take into account in the short note. And in the essay type, we will be giving 2 marks and 3 marks questions where short, it will be like little short type of question, but at the same time combined together is 5 marks. So 2 marks and 3 marks, same analysis go like that only. Here we are going up to the synthesis part of it. So critical thinking, application, and practical problem solving. Or we can give little more different kind of questions also, depending upon the flexibility part. So this is all about the structure and scheme. So is it clear now? Any questions? We can take the questions later on. But for remaining things, like we have question all the papers in the semester 1 we have now. All the semester question papers from the first semester we have all the papers from semester 1 we have now. We can go one by one. Before going to that, I request Professor Murthy to throw some light on little more on evaluation pattern. Guidelines. అది ఊరికే ఆఫ్ అయిపోతుంది. You start. మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి రిటరేట్ evaluation. అది చూస్తావా లేకపోతే ఇంటర్నల్ ఓపెన్ చేయాలి. ఇంటర్నల్ ఓపెన్ చేయాలి. డాక్యుమెంట్ విచ్ డాక్యుమెంట్ అది మళ్ళీ లోపల పోయి ఎత్తుకురావాలి. పర్లేదా? ఆయన లింక్ లో పెట్టినా మన దగ్గర ఉంది డాక్యుమెంట్. ఓపెన్ చేయాలంటే వెళ్ళాలి, లోపలికి వెళ్తే అది మన స్కీమ్. అది ఓకేనా? అదే పెట్టాలి. మనం పెట్టింది మాత్రం ఇదేనా? చాలా గ్రేడింగ్ డీటెయిల్స్.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you very much, ma'am, for this opportunity. So, as a part of this revised curriculum framework that we have adopted.
Sir, kindly keep your mobile, sir. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Okay. So, in this revised curriculum framework, or in this revised pattern of examination, so this year we are following continuous and comprehensive evaluation. So you can download this document from Osmania University website also. It is a 36-page document. I request all the principals, all the faculty members to kindly look in this document very carefully and then try to understand this, so that we have to all follow and abide by this norm. So in this new evaluation pattern, we have to conduct 4 internal assessments. So I think by now we must have conducted the first internal assessment. The first internal assessment, as you can see in the screen, that this internal assessment has to be conducted for 10 marks. And you have questions from multiple choice and short answers. Multiple choice questions will be 10 and fill in the blanks will be 10 and half marks each. So in total you will have 20 questions. 10 questions multiple, fill in the blanks, 10 questions multiple choice. So when you conduct this internal assessment, there are certain formalities. So when you conduct this internal assessment, first you will conduct the internal assessment like the way we conduct the main examination. Share screen.
Just minimize this అంతే. Share again.
Share. So now you are able to see the screen, sir? Okay. So this is a 36-page document which is available in Osmania University website. You can also download this document. I'm only giving the brief insights about this document. I will give details about the conduction of the internal assessment, and I will also tell briefly about the end semester examination. So the first internal assessment has to be conducted. There are 4 internal assessments in this semester. So every month we will have to conduct one internal assessment. So by the end of December, you should have conducted the first internal assessment. By January end, you will conduct the second. February 3rd, March 4th internal assessment. Okay. So even if you have not conducted, by the first week of January, you can conduct the first internal assessment. Then you can again give a spacing of 30 days and then conduct the second internal assessment. The pattern of internal assessment is you have multiple choice and fill in the blanks. 10 questions in multiple choice, 10 questions in fill in the blanks, half marks each. So the total comes to around 10 marks. And then you should have a proper seating arrangement for the students. You should make the seating arrangement like the way we do the seating arrangement for the main end semester examination. Students have to sit very spacingly, they should not sit close to each other. And then you should also take some photographs of the students writing the internal assessment. And you should also take the attendance of the students writing the internal assessment. And then that attendance sheet is very, very important. That attendance sheet should also have the signatures of the students and also the examiners who have conducted the internal assessment. And once you conduct the internal assessment, then after correcting the papers of that internal assessment, what you can do is you can give the marks directly on the sheets. And then what you should do is you should give back this to the students and then give them the feedback about you can give them the feedback about what was the correct answer and how they have responded. And then you can discuss very briefly about the scores that they have secured. And once they are totally convinced, then you should take the signatures of the students on the internal assessment paper and then you should collect it back from the students. After collecting it back from the students, you should prepare the mark sheets and then the same has to be uploaded to the university or sent to the university. We will again get back to you like how you have to upload this in the university because this is online evaluation and then you have to upload these marks immediately. So the same day, so from the second semester, so from the second internal assessment onwards, whenever you conduct the internal assessment, on the same day you have to upload the attendance of the students. Those who have attended the internal assessment, though that attendance has to be immediately uploaded on the same day. Okay. So this has to be very meticulously followed. So like this, we have to conduct 4 internal assessments. The second internal assessment is short answer questions where you have 10 questions, 1 mark each. That is purely short answer type. Then the third internal assessment, you have report writing or paraphrasing, or you can have book reviews, article, or reflective journal. So you have a lot of flexibility here. And the fourth internal assessment is again an assignment of 5 marks, or you can even have seminar presentation. So the third and fourth internal assessments have little bit of choices where you can adopt whatever is suitable and convenient for your students. But the first internal assessment is purely multiple choice and fill in the blanks. And the second internal assessment is purely short answer questions. All right. So this internal assessments, photographs, evidences, documentary evidences, obtaining is all mandatory. Right. So once we are done with this internal examination, now we will come to the main examination. The main end term examination is conducted like the same way which we have conducted earlier, but this time it is with a difference. Now, once you conduct the end term examination, the chief superintendent of the college will retain the question papers, will retain the answer books of all the students, and then it has to be kept at a particular place, and then the correction will be done in the same college. So the vice chancellor must have conducted a meeting where the teachers were oriented about the pattern of conducting and doing the evaluation. So that was also shared in that platform. So you must be aware about how evaluation will be done at the respective colleges. So to do this evaluation, there is a particular room where you should have a video camera placed, and then the teachers will be only those teachers who teach that particular paper should be permitted to evaluate that script. And then once you evaluate the script, then you have to award the marks, give the marks, and then after awarding the marks on the answer books, the answer books will again should be stored to the college level only at the safe place, and it should be in the custody of the chief superintendent of the respective colleges. And then this award list has to be again given in the, again you have to do the entry in the online mode, like the way you do the internal assessment and data entry of internal assessment marks, right? Now and then, now this time, earlier for postgraduate courses, we used to follow absolute marking. That means if the student gets 60% and above, then he used to be first class. So his marks alone used to be counted. But this time, the university has gone for a relative grading, where the performance of other students will also decide the students' marks. So for that purpose, there is a formula which they have adopted. They are going for Z scores. So what is a Z score? Z score is a standard score. Z score is given by the relation where they take the mean of the marks. So what is the mean of the mark of all the students who have taken the exam? So they compute the mean, then observed score minus mean divided by standard deviation will give you the Z score. So this Z score is taken as a norm for deciding the first class and second class and then the third class or fail of the student. So that particular strategy that the university is adopting is given on page 31 of this booklet. You can go and see. If the mark is greater than the average plus 1.5 standard deviation, then the student will get O grade. And he will get, on a grade point, he will get 10 as outstanding. Okay, so you have understood. See, let me once again explain how we get Z score. So Z score or standard score is obtained by computing the mean and standard deviation of the total marks. So what we do is we first compute the mean, and then later we compute the standard deviation of of all the marks given by our students. Whoever has appeared in the examination, all their marks are taken into consideration, and then we find the mean and standard deviation. Then what we do is we take the student's mark minus mean divided by standard deviation, that is called Z score. So this Z score, if this is greater than, if that the obtained mark of the student, if that is greater than the average, that is mean plus 1.5 standard deviation, then he will get outstanding. Similarly, if the mark obtained by the student is greater than the average and it is lying between 1 standard deviation to plus 1.5 standard deviation, then he will get A plus. So this details is available on page 31 on the booklet. You can go through it. Okay, it is not very difficult. So they have only given an algorithm of how they convert the mark to the grades and grade points. That is the new pattern which has emerged for this ensuing academic year, for the current academic year. And then coming back to the relative grading, this relative grading is going to consider about, and then there will be only single evaluation. There is no double evaluation for the end term examination. So if the student has secured whatever marks the student is going to secure, that will be the final, and then there is no second evaluation. Earlier, we used to have a pattern where the papers were evaluated for 2 times, and then if the difference is more than 20%, it used to be get evaluated by the third examiner. But this time we have only single valuation. Okay.
Any query from the students? If they have any grievance from the students?
If they have any grievances from the students, then there will be a committee. There is a committee appointed by the college. In the college, you should have grievance redressal committee. In the college, even this is also applicable for the marks in the internal assessment. So in your respective college, you please have a committee called Grievances Redressal Committee, where the principal is also a member, and also two or three senior teachers of the college will become the members of this grievance redressal committee. And then this will handle the issues raised by the students with reference to their marks. If they have any grievances concerned with marks, the committee will take care of all these aspects.
Any questions on that?
If you have any questions or any observations or any points, then you are welcome. You please answer your questions, and then we will be able to.
So it's kind
Mr.
request.
Singh, you are permitted to
if
ask.
any queries are there, kindly raise your hands. Then I can able to allow. Mr. Singh Garu, if you want to ask any question, kindly unmute. Or kindly, you please down for the your raise the hands. Anybody want to ask? Kindly raise digitally, please.
Okay, keep on touching, sir.
You please ask questions. If you have any questions related to the new syllabus, about the papers, about the evaluation pattern, or anything about the mode of conducting the internal assessment, you please ask. Okay, you are open to ask questions.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, madam. This is Sheikh Shabir Fasha from Al Madina College of Education, Mehboob Nagar, sir. Sir,
Yes, yes.
will you please again explain about the internal assessment, sir? Again, in a brief.
Okay, sir, you don't have to worry about the internal assessment. See, in the Osmania University website, they have kept a document called CCE, Regulations for Continuous and Comprehensive Evaluation. So this document you can always download, and then you can go through that document. And then in this document, they have given all the details about how we have to conduct internal assessment and how the end term examination will be conducted by the university. So once again, for the benefit of all our participants, I'll once again repeat how we are going to conduct the internal assessment. So from this academic year onwards, we will be conducting 4 internal assessment. Earlier, the past practice was that we used to conduct only 2 internal assessments. Okay, now in place of 2, we are going to conduct 4 internal assessments. Okay, so in one semester, we have to conduct 4 internal assessments, and then you cannot conduct all the 4 internal assessment by giving a gap of just 1 or 2 days. Okay, so this course started on December 4. So by the end of December, we should have conducted the first internal assessment. Okay, anyway, if any college has not conducted the internal assessment, I request them to conduct by the end of this week. Okay, so the first internal assessment will be conducted by the first week of January, where unit 1, whatever syllabus or whatever portions the teacher has covered, that portion has to be included as the syllabus for the first internal assessment. Now, what is the pattern of the internal assessment? The first internal assessment will be purely multiple choice, where there will be 20 questions. 10 questions will be fill in the blanks, and 10 questions will be MCQs, multiple choice. 10 multiple choice, 10 fill in the blanks, half mark each. So there are 20 questions, 20 into half is 10. So the total weightage for the first internal assessment is 10 marks. Okay, so this you have to conduct very transparently, very professionally, like the way you conduct the university examination. How do we make our children sit in the university examination? We will make them sit as per the roll numbers. They will sit, and you have to do this. And then please understand, you have to do this whenever you have your own classes. You should not have a dedicated day for conducting this internal assessment. For example, if a particular teacher is teaching research methodology, so in the research methodology class itself, you have to conduct this. So the next class will be again class will happen. You should not take out dedicated days for conducting this internal assessment, and then you have to conduct the 4 papers of the first semester have to conducted on the same day. In the respective periods of the teachers, you can conduct the internal assessment. For example, in the first period, you have philosophy. So philosophy teacher can conduct the internal assessment. Next day, second, if you have the third period, paper 2, that teacher can conduct advanced educational psychology. So within a span of 1 week, you can conduct the internal assessment. Okay. So, and in your respective classes, you should not disturb the classes. The classwork should not get disturbed because you are conducting the internal assessment. That is an important feature of this internal assessment practice. You should have the classes going on as per the schedule, as per the timetable, and within that period only the teacher has to conduct the internal assessment. The other paper should not get disturbed. All right. And then you can inform your students beforehand that this particular week the internal assessment examination will happen. And then another important feature of this internal assessment is you should take the attendance of the students. When you are usually whenever you take classes, you will take attendance, isn't it? So like same way, in your attendance register, you will mark the attendance of the students, and you will also take the attendance in a separate paper. Who all the students who have attended the internal assessment. Take the attendance, right? And then give the answers, give the question papers to the students, ask them to write. Okay. So this will be only half an hour's duration. The internal assessment is only for half an hour's duration. Okay. You can happily conduct this internal assessment within your respective periods within the stipulated time. And once the internal assessment is over, please collect all the answer books back by the respective teacher, and then you can do the valuation. After doing valuation, you have to award the marks on the sheets. You have to award the marks on the respective sheets, answer booklets, and then you have to give it back to the student. You have to give it back to the student. And then you have to take the signatures of the student. Students should put their signatures that they have seen the answer booklet. And then this is a very good opportunity for the teacher also to give the feedback. You can give the feedback. You can talk about what was the correct response, what are the wrong responses students have given, and what were the answers in the fill in the blanks. You can nicely discuss and discuss about the question paper. You can give the feedback, and then if the students have any grievances, you can also address those grievances, and then you can also discuss the subject. This is a very good opportunity for the teacher to discuss about the subject. Earlier, we used to only conduct the test, and then we never used to share the paper. The students never used to get an opportunity of where is the answer, where they have gone wrong. Okay, so this is a good opportunity. Make use of this facility. You can give feedback to the students and then take the signature. Once the signature is obtained from the students on the respective answer scripts, then you give the marks of all the students. Okay, and then this information of the marks of internal assessment has to be uploaded in the site. So there is a provision there where the university will open the place for you, and then immediately you have to upload the marks. So this has to happen 4 times in 1 semester. First semester we have done. You have to repeat the same thing in the second semester also, second internal assessment also. And this has to happen in all the 4 semesters. Every semester, 4 internal assessments. All right. So for the second internal assessment, what is the procedure? The procedure is still the same, but the pattern of question paper is different. What is the pattern of the question paper for the second internal assessment? The pattern of the question paper for the second internal assessment is you have short questions, 10 short questions, 1 mark each. Each internal assessment is only for 10 marks. So we are conducting 4 internal assessments. So 10 into 4 is 40. So the total weightage of internal assessment in every semester is 40 marks. So the second internal assessment will be conducted for 10 marks. Second internal assessment will be conducted for 10 marks, where you will have only 10 short questions, short answers. So give 10 questions, give conceptual, again follow the taxonomy, so that you will not have all knowledge-based questions. Okay, you can give some questions from knowledge and then understanding. You have the revised Bloom's taxonomy, you can make use of this, and then you can ask the students to give answers. Again, once the students give the answers, again you have to give the feedback. But please make the seating arrangement properly, because it is a regular classroom. The students will sit close to each other, so that care and attention has to be taken by the respective teacher. You have to, you have to disturb the seating arrangement, and then you have to make them sit like the way they are sitting for the end term semester examination. And then you should also take photographs of the students writing the internal assessment along with the examiners. So examiners will be there, and then on the attendance list of the students for internal assessment, along with the signatures of the students, the signatures of the examiners should also be there, because this information should also be given to the university. Right? So again, you will correct the papers, again you will give feedback to the, again you will take the feedback from the students, and again you will, give this marks to the university. So the same thing you have to do 4 times in a semester. So this is briefly about internal as a conduction of internal assessment. So that for the third semester, for the third internal assessment, you don't have multiple choice. You have some flexibility. You can ask students to do report writing, or you can ask them to do some, you can give some activity, ask them to do some paraphrasing, or you can give some research article. You can ask them to give, you can give an article to them and ask them to write the summary, or you can do any activity. You can ask them to give some activity, so that you can award 10 marks to them. But some activity, paper based, which is a part of the syllabus, which is a part of the 4 papers, that has to be given. You cannot give any activities which is not related to the syllabus. That cannot be done. Okay, so that is a care you have to take. All right. So the fourth internal assessment is again assignment. 2 assignments you can give for 5 marks, or you can ask them to give a seminar presentation. Students will give presentations, and then that seminar presentation will have, along with seminar presentation, along with assignments, 5 marks. So 5 plus 5, 10 marks. So the university has stipulated that the fourth internal assessment should be assignment and seminar presentation only. You can see the screen. We are sharing the screen with you. The fourth internal assessment comprises of 10 marks. And in the fourth internal assessment, 5 assignment marks and seminar presentation. So 5 plus 5, 10 marks. All right. So this is briefly about the internal assessment. And the university will set the question paper. University will set the question paper, and then the end term examination will be conducted in the same manner, except with a slight difference that this time the correction will happen by the respective teacher at the college level itself. So the chief superintendent will take care of the answer books, and it will be secured at a secure place. And then corrections will be done in a room where a video camera is installed, and only those teachers who have taught that particular paper will be permitted to come inside. They will come empty-handed, and while going also they will not carry any papers again along, any papers or any documents along with them. So this video recording facility has to be provided in your respective college, where evaluation will be done in a very transparent manner. Okay. So you have any doubts, sir? If anybody has any doubts on the scheme or on the evaluation pattern or on the papers, particularly the first semester. First semester we have 4 papers, and also we have competency skills, communication skills, and yoga and professional development paper. So if you have any doubts on these 6 papers, you are most welcome.
So anybody want to ask the questions? Kindly raise your hand digitally, please.
Okay. So if there are no questions, we'll go for a paper-wise discussion.
Start, yes.
Now, the paper 2 in this first semester is Advanced Educational Psychology. Okay, so you can see the syllabus. The syllabus is already shared with you. So first paper 2 is Advanced Educational Psychology. So in this paper 2, we have written the learning outcomes. And then as you can see, this paper also has 5 units. The first unit is giving details about the introduction of educational psychology, branches of educational psychology, schools of psychology, methods of educational psychology. And the second unit is learning and motivation. Third unit is cognitive and language development. The fourth unit is about the social and moral development. The fifth unit is intelligence and personality. So this is how the entire educational psychology syllabus has been framed, and which is divided into 5 units. All right. So now I request Dr. Sunita Madam to give details about the Advanced Educational Psychology paper.
Yeah. Good afternoon to all of you. And in this paper of Advanced Education Psychology, as Sir told, we have 5 units. And then, and it has been here, the main objective of this paper is to make the classroom teaching more effective. And we are going to teach most of the application part of it. So we will be giving the conceptual understanding and then the application part of it. And here the syllabus is being given elaborately because under each concept, what you're supposed to teach is being clearly given in this syllabus copy. Like for example, if you take exploring educational psychology, here you're going to deal with the historical background functions of educational psychology. So in method of educational psychology, what you're supposed to. So likewise, each subunit, what you're supposed to teach is being clearly given. And then even here, all theories or also relevant theories have been included. And mostly here we are going to give the conceptual understanding. Yesterday, what we have told, like when you take the theory, the concept and the stage-wise theory, and the application part of it, we are going to deal with it. Educational implication. And in the unit 1, we have included even the 8th subunit, that is the aesthetic development, where we are going to deal with the definition, meaning, approaches to aesthetic development, and the theories related to only the, like we have given different theories names, but what they have talked about aesthetic development, only that we are going to deal with this. Suppose Vygotsky, if you take, yes, talked about the social interaction, cognitive development, all, but not all those things, but what specifically he has talked about aesthetic development, that part of the theory we are going to deal. And then in the learning and motivation, we have here included the what do you mean by learning, types of learning, and then what is maturation, because learning and maturation are two sides of the coin and they go hand in hand. So this particular concept we have included. And then critical understanding of learning theories, that is behaviorist. And then Hull systematic behavior theory. Here it is like, here we are going to talk about the Hull's mathematico-deductive theory related to education. And then we are going to talk about cognitive view of learning. And then here we are going to talk about all the long-term memory, short-term memory, what is like, what is the duration, what is stored in short-term memory, what is stored in long-term memory, how the information processing is taking place, and then how to retrieve the information, and all those things we are going to deal. And here we are going to even deal with the support subunit, complex cognitive process, where we are going to deal with the metacognition aspect of it. And then learning science and constructivism. Here we are going to learn the concept of learning science, cognitive and social constructivism from the constructivistic point of view, that is Vygotsky.
And then social cognitive, we are dealing with Albert Bandura. And again, in this, we are dealing with modeling, track reciprocal causality. And we are talking about all the aspects that have been dealt with the social cognitive aspect. And again, in motivation, we are going to deal in depth with the concepts, all concepts of motivation and motivation theories. And then learning styles, and then mental health and hygiene. And we have really combined the unit in such a manner that you will get the complete information about the concept that has been included in each unit without leaving any aspect. And then even we are keeping in mind the application part of it. So when we are dealing with the concept here, we have to keep it in mind as teachers, that we are going to give the conceptual understanding and more related to the application part of it, that is effective teaching and learning process. How we can help through this knowledge of psychology, advanced educational psychology, equip the teacher to become to train the teacher educators, or they themselves, when they go into the schools, be an effective teacher in transacting the classes. And then the third unit, we are going to talk about cognitive development and language. And here we are going to deal with the basic concepts of language, why, when and how does the language development. Here probably we are going to talk about the stages of development and how the language development takes place, like starting from sounds, pronunciation, and then and how the language develops in the social in the social situation, that is through social interaction. And we are talking about the metalinguistic aspects, that is metalinguistic awareness, grammar, syntax, and almost we are trying to bring the components of language development. And however, we are going to include Noam Chomsky's language development theory and its educational implication. And then we are going to talk about the brain and cognitive development. We are here in depth dealing with how how knowledge, how the brain, nervous neurons, and brain play, how it helps in acquiring the knowledge, or how learning process takes place. That mechanism, biological mechanism, we are going to deal in this brain and cognitive development. However, we can't miss Piaget's cognitive development theory and Vygotsky's social cultural perspective. And one aspect of Bronfenbrenner cognitive development theory, we are dealing with the B.Ed syllabus. And mind it, whatever we have included in the B.Ed, either if we are using here the same concept, we are using the extension of it, or the different from the different perspective we are dealing the concept, it is useful in the teaching learning process. And then one more thing is, the next one is the self and social and moral development. Here we are going to deal with the physical and motor development of young children at elementary and adolescent stage. And then here we are even dealing with the children with the disability, and then challenges. And we are even here dealing with some of the burning problems related to issues like, obesity and all. Directly or indirectly, the physical component of the individual is also going to help the other aspect of development, that is your social, emotional, and moral development. And that's why we are even including the physical development, that obesity and eating disorders, supporting positive body image in the adolescents, because the physical image of the child plays a major role in the overall development of the individual. And this component will have more drastic influence on during the adolescent period. And then we are going to deal with the social concepts. Like here, we are we are dealing with the socialization process, and then we are going to deal with the agents of socialization process. And the next one is, we are going to deal with the Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory, because This is a very important theory where it tries to explain us about the micro, meso, and macro environment, and how these the components, like in meso, like micro, what all the agents are there, how it's going to influence the development of the individual. So this particular thing we have included Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory. And then identity and self concept. Here we are dealing with Erik Erikson, stages of development. And then the other thing is moral development, wherein we are going to deal with all the theories of moral development theories and the application part of it. And here we are including the moral judgment, social convention, and personal choice. These are again based on the stages of, we'll be trying to explain these concepts based on the Kohlberg's moral development theories based on the levels. And then the last component is that is intelligence and personality. Here also we are dealing with the intelligent concepts, measuring of intelligence, that is IQ and group measuring of intelligent quotients. And then we are talking about individual differences in this particular concept, and special reference we are giving to Rights of Persons with Disability Act, because this act talks about all the disabilities and their rights and how the educational services are provided and what recommendations we are giving to them. And based on that, the next proceeding one will be the students with special needs children. And then we have the personality concept and meaning. That is the different, what are the different types of personalities, types and trait approaches, psychoanalytical approach. And then what are the theories involved in this and their application part of it. And we have even given the engagement part of it. And one thing we would like to tell you that apart from this engagement, if you are innovative and creative, you can add your own give your own engagement, and you can even suggest us any more if you have. And we have given the references. Apart from these references also, we are going to include few more references. Those are online books available. So those things, I think two books name, one book name has not been added, so we will be adding that name also. So, and then we'll have the same pattern, that is 50 plus 50 evaluation pattern. 50 per university examination, and then out of 54 internals, 10 marks, and 10 marks for attendance. So any queries, you can ask. Any questions, doubts? Any doubts, please?
Kind request, kindly raise your hand, please, if you want to ask any question.
Any doubts, please? Kishore, please unmute Nali madam, or I don't know whether you have muted me.
Yes, madam. Now you are audible, madam. Already
Because
laptop is
somebody is asking that they're not able to hear me.
Number of classes.
so they must raise the hand
Number of
to the digital
classes
mode, madam.
per side. It is 4 units. I think 4 classes, 6 classes per week we are having. Yes,
Kindly
any,
unmute your video and raise your hand, then I can allow you, please. Or you can digitally raise your hand, then I can allow.
whoever wants to ask question or query, please raise your hand. The host can, yeah, Saida Fatima. Saida Fatima, I believe. Kishore.
Saida Fatima, మేడం హ్యాండ్ రేజ్ చేస్తే మనకి ఈజీ అవుతుంది మేడం.
అదే చేసిండ్రు కిషోర్. Saida Fatima has raised her hand.
రేజ్ చేస్తారండి.
If no more no questions, then we'll go ahead with the second paper.
Once I will unmute everyone, please. If anybody want to ask, they can ask. Yeah, now unmuted, madam.
Hello, good afternoon, ma'am.
Unmute your video, please.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, the number of classes will be, means all the syllabus will be covered in number of classes. Means it is quite vast. So, is there any strategy to cover all the topics within the given time? I'm not able to hear you, ma'am.
Madam, kindly unmute Brunal madam laptop, please. Yeah, now you can, madam. Now you can, please.
You can hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yeah. Yeah, like what we have given is, like, suppose if it is nature of learning, we have elaborated what you're supposed to teach in that particular unit. Like, you know, if we tell like memory, so what you're supposed to teach in memory. So what is memory? Types of memory, like, you know. So we are giving the conceptual understanding of that particular thing and their application part. I think it, and the other day, yesterday also, we told like we can use different methods of teaching. You can give students different concepts and ask them to prepare and come for as presentation. You can have discussion sort of a thing, seminar presentations. Yes. And suppose if you take, you know, development. So we have stages of development, and also, like, you know, many of them, when we prepared the, like, to have a clear cut idea about what you're supposed to teach in that under that particular chapter, we have given the description of it. That's all.
Okay.
So that even if you don't give and give it in a concise manner also, yes, you will be teaching the same thing. So here we have given a clear picture under that particular concept, what you're supposed to teach.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll hand over now. Lalita madam will be presenting the paper 3, Economics of Education.
A very good afternoon to the faculty and principals of affiliated colleges, Osmania University and other sister concerned universities. This paper has been originally in the semester 3 in the previous batch of M.Ed, and here this has been brought to semester 1. That's one thing, and the major structure of the paper has not been much changed, because the original concepts of economics of education and the related all the concepts will the theoretically will not change. So all those are as they are, but few things we have incorporated in economics of education. Like I'd like to majorly quote the changes what we have brought in. If we look into Unit 1 structure, we have incorporated all the concepts of economics of education, the conceptual understanding of basic concepts of economics of education and interdependence of economics and education. Then we have also changed the structure and the the concepts. So little bit interlinkage and the alignment of the concepts has been done in this unit, where we have added a concept of knowledge economy, creating knowledge economy through education, which is very. Kishore, can you share the paper of economics? Thank you. If you can just, so you can see Unit 1 where we have these 1 and 2 concepts have been introduced, where you have brief historical perspective already existing, but in a different unit. But here now it's brought to the front because history is very important in understanding any policy related or the social fabric or whatever it is related with education. So brief historical perspective, and the new thing is creating knowledge economy through education. So the whole of this essence of the paper is connecting the economic concepts to the education and how we can really bring the efficiency into the education system. So this has been introduced here. And education as human capital, this was already existing, and macro and microeconomics and its relevance to education. Then we have included political economy has been added with socio-cultural context. Under that we have brought in the political economy. This is Unit 1, and Unit 2, of course, is the same one. Factors, principles, factors, and cost-benefit analysis, the rate of returns, and problems in the assessment costs of benefits in education. That's second unit. Then economic development and efficiency in education. Here we have few more additions to the earlier version. One is contemporary perspectives on human development. Then we have educational efficiency and also input-output relations and internal-external efficiency of education. Then brief concepts and measurements of national income. And the addition is improvement of individual and community assets. Then coming to Unit 4, this is also a little bit of a rearrangement has been done, where we have included quality of life, learning poverty, and HDI. Then coming to relationship between market and education. This is also one inclusion. And all the LPG concepts have been brought into one umbrella of one subunit, where we have added public, private, and philanthropic partnership in education. And then addition is here, sustainable development versus economics of education. This is the most happening thing, and we cannot deny the globalization and impact of globalization, and in line with the global competencies. Education. So many critical aspects will be dealt in this particular subunit. Then coming to financing, theory and practice of financing education in Unit 5. We started with the constitutional frame of reference with sources of funding, and then went into international agencies of funding. Then, of course, the added subunit or subtopic is the critique on expenditure on education, plan and non-plan expenditure. Then the earlier version, we had role of planning commission and finance commission. So now the new thing where we have added the Niti Aayog, the role of Niti Aayog, which covers all these aspects. And we all know the emergence and the importance of Niti Aayog in the present context. Hence, the role of Niti Aayog is also added here. Then we have budgeting at larger level, the policy at national and state level we'll be looking at. And here, the scope of this subunit will be very little. It's sharing. It's sharing. So we have a public funding and budgeting. And we have introduced all programs and policies of education and allocation of funds and social audit. As we all know how much expenditure is going into this education as investment and what are the returns of it and how it's being utilized. So a kind of sensitization to the teachers will be given in this public funding and how we have to look at the public funding and the use of it. Then the last subunit is mobilization of resources for education and intersection allocation of education. So whole budgetary aspects have been covered and funding aspects have been covered in the unit 5, and it is open for a discussion, and you want any additions or deletions to be made to this units, and you are welcome to do that. And I request Dr. Shankar sir also to add few inputs to this. Chavan sir. So Kishore Garu, you can unmute the participants if they have if you have any queries related to the paper or anything you want to give your inputs, you can please do that. You can also use the chat box to put your inputs.
What are you expecting from me? English.
Yes, anyone? Can you at least give us a feedback on the paper? We would like to listen from you faculty members. How did you find this paper or anything you want to add to it? Or how is the paper, at least you can just interact and tell us the feedback on it. Okay, if there are on the paper, I think we can shift to the next one with your permission. Sir, the next paper will be paper 4, will be introduced by Professor Ravinath K. Murthy, sir, principal of the college. Thank you.
Yeah, the next paper is paper 4, research in education. So I request Dr. Kishore to kindly share the paper of paper 4, research in education. So this paper is titled as research in education. So in this paper, not much changes have happened. So there is not much of change. So as you can see, the same 5 units are retained, and then only a kind of rearrangement has been done in this research in education. Earlier this we have just slightly changed the title. Now it is called research in education. Okay, so the first unit is still the same. In this paper, we will get an idea about what are the variables, what is educational research, concept of educational research, meaning of educational research, characteristics of educational research, and then what are the different types of research, and what is a variable, what are the different types of variables, and what is the meaning of measurement, scale of measurement, the different scales of measurement, nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio scale, and how do we give an operational definition to the variable, and meaning of hypothesis, what are the different types of hypothesis, and how do we formulate a hypothesis, and what are the characteristics of hypothesis. They are all discussed in the first unit. And in the second unit, we have the paradigms in education, the quantitative, qualitative, and mixed method research, and then what is the meaning of a research problem? How do we identify a research problem? And how do we identify a research problem in quantitative and qualitative research? And then the steps of research. What are the different steps of research? That is in Unit 2. The third aspect is talking about the steps of research. Then what is a construct, what is a concept, what is a construct, what is a paradigm, what is a theory, and how does a theory play a role in identification and selection of the problem. That is fourth part of Unit 2. Then review of literature. How do we do review of literature? What are the different ways in which we can do a review of literature? And how does the different database and internet and consortiums, different consortiums that are available for doing review of literature. How do we do review of literature using these different sources is fifth part of Unit 2. Now, the third unit is again the same. Earlier there was this paper was this unit we discussed about research designs. So the first part in Unit 3 is experimental research. How do we do experimental research? What is experimentation? What is the meaning of experiment? What is experimental research? And how do we have a control over the variables? They're all discussed in Unit 3. And then what is an experimental design and what is an experimental research design? And what are the different types of experimental research? That is in second part of Unit 3. So that is 3.2. So 3.3 is validity in experimental research. Similarly, we have different types of surveys. And the fifth part is about qualitative research. Quantitative research and qualitative research are two types of research classified based on the method of investigation selected by the researcher. So here we are discussing about the different types of qualitative research. That is 3.5. So in fourth unit, we have sample design, sampling, probability sampling, non-probability sampling, and then we have the tools of research, questionnaire, rating scales. These are the different tools of research. This is written absolutely the same manner when it was last time. Last time also we had the same concepts. So we have written the same concepts this time also. And the fifth unit is research proposal and research report writing. How do we write a research proposal and how should we write a research report? And how does an APA play a role in research report writing? That is discussed in Unit 5. In Unit 5, the structure of the report, how should we structure the report, how should we write a report, and then how should we write a report in case of a qualitative research, how should we write a report in case of a quantitative research, and the publications manual of the American Psychological Association 7th edition book has to be used to teach the students about writing the references, citations, and bibliography. How do we give citations and what is the basic difference between references and bibliography, and how should we structure a report, and when we do a thesis or dissertation, what should be the style of writing a research report, and when we write an article for a journal, how should we write that paper, and when we write a chapter in an edited book, how should we write that chapter in an edited book. That is also included in the fifth unit of this paper, research proposal and research report. So there are so many things that can also be included. Okay, so depending upon the motivation and interest of the student, and also depending upon the motivation and interest of the teacher, you can very creatively teach this paper and also make the students write the research paper. You can ask our students to do a small data collection, and then you can also ask them to write a research paper, so that the students will also learn how to understand. That can also be a part of the field engagement. And these days, so many things are available on the internet. And then you can also ask our students to go to Shodh Ganga and then collect some of the theses. And then you can ask them to check what is the type of sampling that is used by the researcher and how the researcher has done sampling technique and what is the research design. So all that they can student explore. The student can explore different aspects, and then that can also be part of the field engagement. So this paper, not much of change has happened except for a slight change in the title of the paper and slight rearrangement of the concepts that are there in this research methodology. Okay. So if you have any doubts or suggestions or any observations, you please share your observations. Any observations or any doubts on this paper? Paper 4, Research in Education.
Kindly unmute yourself and you can share your views.
Yeah, please ask, please ask. Any question from your side? You can please ask. The references are also given. The sixth step research process, that is included in this second unit. In second unit, 2.3, 6 steps in research is from Creswell's book. Creswell is the name of the author. So it is also there in the references. 11th name, Educational Research, Planning, Conducting and Evaluating Quantitative and Qualitative Research. So the 6-step process is available in Creswell's book. So you can refer to that book to understand what are the 6 steps in research process. Anyway, those 6 steps are already given here. Okay. So you have any doubts? Ethical issues in conducting research. You can also discuss ethical issues in conducting research. APA has given a lot of focus on ethical research issues. You should have an institutional review board because we are basically dealing with human participants in educational research. Mostly we do research on students, teachers, and people form our participants. The sample element for us is students. So we have to deal with them very carefully. We should take informed consent and we should also tell them about the purpose of research, and then very carefully after taking the consent, we have to do the research. So those things also can be included in ethics in conducting research. Yeah, any doubts or any observations from your side? Or if there are no papers, then I think we'll move on to the next paper. Next paper is communication skills. Communication skills in English or communication skills. This is also one paper. So before I move on to the next paper, I would like to make a small request for all the teachers, faculty members, students, and the principals that till January 14th we have time. You can visit Swayam portal. The details of the course is shared in the principals group of colleges of education. I request the principals to kindly share the details of the Swayam portal course. The name of the course is Communication Skills in English only. So this resource person for this course is Professor Kshema Jose. It is really very wonderful course. So you can immediately join this course. This course is commencing from January 14th, and then you can really get a great benefit by joining this course, and you will also get 2 credits. So in Swayam portal, there are so many courses that are being launched. Around 14,000 courses are currently being offered in Swayam portal. So I request the principals, the teachers, the students to kindly take this benefit and select any one course and get 2 credits as a part of this curriculum. We also have a requirement that till you complete the 4th semester, by the time the examination dates come for the 4th semester, students should join any MOOCs course either in Swayam or any other platform and then obtain 2 credits. So only when you obtain 2 credits and show to the respective college, then only your course, M.Ed course will be completed. Otherwise, if you do not complete any other MOOCs course, then your course will remain incomplete. So this is a very great benefit that is immediately available to us. So you can even join this communication skills in English and obtain 2 credits. Okay. So now we move on to this communication skills in English. As you can see, there are 3 units in this paper. There are 3 units. The first unit is communication. In communication, we are introducing what is communication. And the second is oral communication. The third one is written communication. Okay. So the entire communication skills paper is basically unfolded in 3 units. One is giving you a comprehensive introduction. The next unit is on oral communication. The third unit is written communication. So this is a very practical based paper where the student should definitely get the skills of communication. The student should get skills of communication, and then for teaching learning process, communication is the backbone of teaching learning. And this paper is very important for all of us, including the teachers, and we should get good communication skills as a learning outcome of this program. Now I request Dr. Durgesham Sargaru to kindly throw more light on this paper, communication skills.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir, for giving this opportunity. Yes, as sir advised us to enroll in the communication skills in English, which is already available in that Swayam. Sir has rightly suggested for us to enroll in that course, communication skills in English. So from first semester onwards, we have to encourage the students to enroll in that Swayam MOOCs. So taking grant for that year, we can enroll in that communication skills in English because also have that year that opportunity to develop our abilities in the form of performance, that is in the oral and written performance. Yeah, Kishore sir, please share the screen related to the paper, which is already sir has revealed about that here essence of the paper. Okay, please all the faculty and principals of that reputed institutions are requested to go through that. You ask your concerned faculty members to go through that here learning outcomes of the paper, and that your first chapter is communication, which is very essential right now. Okay, lack of communication, that many opportunities are okay, losing and losing by that here the candidate. So right now that entire department had the discussion on that here. How do we encourage and develop that and inculcate the strategies to develop the communication? So that's why they suggested to introduce this paper very effectively than our previous syllabus. So in this first unit, ISR said that is the 4 that components will be there, which is purely related that your language aspects. Okay, you know all very well about that language is consists of that number of complex system of systems, we can say in other words. So which deals with that here phonetics, which deals with that here vocabulary, which deals with that your grammar and other presentations. So that will address by this first unit. So here the teacher, educator are supposed to encourage the students to understand this first unit. Then after, which is very important for us, that is oral communication. Yeah, under this here, the entire language skills are emphasized. And beyond the language skills, the very important skills are here that making them to be a very active listeners. Okay, once we are encouraging them to imbibe the quality of that receiving, especially that you are good educated in a communication. So for that, your listening skill is very important. So for that here we have that second unit component under the listening skills. There are types of listening and also listening comprehension, and the strategies and barriers are introduced in that. So gradually at this time here the teacher educators are suggested to provide such facilities to develop their good listening activities and to become the good listeners and active listeners also. And at the time they can conduct that, they can administer in the classroom with respect to that listening skills. And the next is the speaking skills. Speaking skills here that the teacher educators are supposed to that encourage the students to go through that number of that resources available across the repositories offline and online and other classroom transactions also. For that here they need to develop that here soft skills like so here the teacher educators are mainly that focus on developing these soft skills, that is body language and that maintaining eye contact and voice modulations and other things. So that was mentioned in that second chapter. And also here another academic skills related under that speaking skills, that is a presentation, because these teacher educator trainees are tomorrow's that your teacher educators. So that's why they need to develop that presentation. So across their papers, every paper definitely have that here seminar presentations and some other mode of presentations are available. So here we can integrate or they can encourage to here present their presentations on various as academic and non-academic are then presently that here that linguistic aspect or social.
Yeah,
Hello. Yeah, and then here the teacher educators are that means your faculty members are advised to conduct the group discussions. Hello. Yeah, group discussions. Okay, which is very important right now. Okay, lack of these abilities. Nowadays, we are eyeing that here across the institutions, there are the number of conflicts and other the different atmosphere we are seeing, and we have been understanding that here through research and development, that is institutional climate and other balancing attitude, everything we are eyeing, knowing by that here research evidences. So that is why this is addressed through this paper. And also here another component, very important component. So at this area here our faculty members are advised to conduct actually what kind of interviews are there in that across the positions, across the stages, across that here the modes of presentations like video interviews and telephone interviews and panel interviews and other. There are number of interviews. So here the simulated environment should be provided in the respective institutions to experience in the live in the primary sources way. So that is why here we need to conduct and encourage them to organize among themselves with respect to that here video conference, video interview and tele interviews and panel interviews sometimes. At the time that students are supposed to act and encourage like to participate like here interviewee and interviewer. And at the time, then they will exchange their abilities and skills and other things. And another important area under this speaking skills, that is public speaking skills. So as our that educationist says that your entire the nation development will be within the classroom. So as we are quoting that here, the teacher should develop that your public speaking abilities. Of course, through this associating with this transaction in the classroom, definitely they will develop that. So here the teacher, we faculty members are supposed to encourage them to that elaborate their the vision, and also that you're organizing their ideas and quoting some that examples and using that one word substitutions and using that your prouds and idioms to attract the audience and to convince the audience, not for convince the confusing the audience. So for that here we need to practice that public speaking task and strategies in the classroom. Then another casual important okay, lack of this conversing abilities and dialogue and debates. Also, sometimes we are lagging that opportunity. That means we are observing. So that is why here we need to practice this conversing and also that here debate in the classroom the programs, and then here negotiations also. Okay, sometimes here whenever that conflicts rise, and then here this role is very important to bring that relationship and to reduce that here that imbalance between the two groups. Sometimes like they will develop their mentoring abilities through this negotiation qualities and convincing that situations and all. So for that here it is advised to look into this negotiation skills and next year that like under the third unit written communication, so which is also related to that here the receptive skills and always associating with that here productive skills, that is reading and writing. Under that reading here the students means here the teacher trainees are supposed to go through the different that reading text related to the personalities, related to philosophers, scientists, and articles and journals and theses and abstracts and everything like that. So which is also covered by other academic aspects like other papers also. Suppose just now that Murthy sir and Lalita madam and Sunita madam revealed about the psychologist and economic and present economic conditions and budget reviews and other things. So under this year, the student are encouraged to read and present their reviews and reflections in the classroom and among especially the group members on the supervision of your teacher educators. So that is why they suggest here we suggested this area of that. Then the writing skills. So generally that here this communication depends on that's the art of etiquette, art of presentation, especially that they are written communications. So under this, that every teacher trainees are advised to go through to develop that, yeah, to develop their that is art of writing. So every time in the classroom, earlier we used to limit for only that 12 days or 10 days so far. So here from the day onwards, in the classroom of that your competencies of communication skills in English, here the teacher educators are supposed to attempt all these the listening, speaking, and reading and writing every day. So we have to encourage them to yeah, that whom we are writing and why we are writing and what we are expecting from the readers, especially that we should keep in our mind while writing. So that we have to encourage the participants in that. So under this year also these our students will develop their abilities, and tomorrow they will associate with us and they will be besides us. So at the time they must develop their managerial skills related to this language aspects, that is documentation and corresponding abilities, And also for that year, they are supposed to develop the documentation abilities. Under that year, letter writing and also writing other elements like that is what we call here panel discussions, or that your agenda. Sometimes you are conducting meeting or minutes. Like all these are related to that your writing abilities. And one very important thing is, okay, market that very demanding of the R is that is there are number of opportunities are spread over across that venues in the world, especially that here content developers and content writers and digital content writers especially. For that year, they are supposed to encourage that is writing blogs and their own, and writing emails and writing that here some other comments especially, and writing reviews on the particular books, new books, or that on the different authors, and especially that here the great laurels of like your Brooker Prize winner booking and Nobel Prize books also, and also in that especially in that academic books. For example, sir suggested that here the one best book which is also quoted by Dr. Kshema Joshi madam in that. So you encourage them to go through that book and ask them to write the reviews on that book. And in addition to that, you are encouraging them to reflecting on that your social media, like for example, what we call that is watching movies. Okay, at the time you just encourage them. Yeah, we need to encourage them to write that report and reviews on that what learning lands like that. Thank you with this. So like this, please go through that here. There are suggested engagements are given in this syllabus, and you can add number of activities and number of syllabus, and don't limit for activities. So every day, every period is expecting that here 4 activities at least. So you have to just spend the time for the associating with our language skills and other things. And beyond things, then this paper will be very that year very useful for every the teacher, educator, students especially. So with this, I'm expressing my grateful to our faculty members and other learned colleagues of those who are associating with across the universities. Thank you very much.
Any doubts? Questions, doubts, queries, clarifications, suggestions? Friends? One question. We are getting no. It's there. Friends, if there are no queries and questions and suggestions in this paper, I think we can go with the next paper. That is first paper and last paper we are left with. Kishore, I can share the screen. Already I have shared the screen. Is it visible? Is it visible? No,
till now not. Madam, screen share college, madam. Kindly share.
I'll share. Okay.
Now okay, madam.
Yeah. So Murthy sir is saying, advising for the communication skills in English, you better buy this good book, Indian author book. Mostly we buy Oxford and this and that, only Western author books. So you better buy one Indian author book so that it will be more focused on our Indian context. This is given in your reference list as Sanjay Kumar and Pushpalata, 2015 edition, Communication Skills, 2nd edition, New Delhi, Oxford University Press. Though it is done by Indian author, but published by Oxford University Press. So please we will go ahead with one paper left from the beginning is paper one, that is philosophy of education, and the last paper is yoga and professionalism. So these two papers we'll handle now. Most of the discussions, from the last earlier we had conservative philosophies and progressive philosophies, radical philosophies. Disturbing. Sound it is disturbing. So we are able to see these all parts of this first unit already we have discussed in our earlier curriculum also. So I just skip it because without wasting much of your time, what is philosophy of education, functions of philosophy, philosophical inquiry, conservative philosophies, progressive philosophies, liberal philosophies. Only little difference I made is Marxist protest I put instead of writing it radical philosophies with special reference to Marx. Only the protest, but how he really made an attempt to bring that socialism from the communism, that part we have to highlight in this. And this is where the progressive radical ideas have emanated from the circles of education, where education has been, brought with this radical thoughts and all. So that's how you can look into this Marxist protest perspective. All of you have the book of Introduction to Educational Philosophy by Max Wingo. You can refer to that book. That is also given in the reference list. Whoever come to Department of Education, I can share that chapter or put a PDF for you later on. Right? Hopefully you are all referring to that book. So with this first chapter, the first unit is very clear. There is not much to discuss further because you are already in process of teaching this last 8 years. Then we have made little attempt to make a comparative study between the East and West and understand various, pedagogies, or you call methods and values with respect to Socratic method. All of us know, right, from so many years, maybe from the time the teacher education came into force, we have been talking about the Socratic method, question and answer method, didactic method. These all words we have heard, but literally let us go into the context of Socrates, how he made an attempt to go to the marketplace, how he was interested in morality, how he made question and answer, in the initial stages, how he was treated as a not very sound person and all. Gradually, how this has become really a very important tool or method of teaching in our everyday classroom. Without question and answer, there is no class or a lecture proceeds further. So let us see that context of Socratic method, how it came out, and what is that connection with the knowledge and then virtues that were given by him. Because he's a man known for the morality, he's a man known for the welfare of the society. So that's how Plato brought him into the light. You all know Socrates never made a scripting nor made any record. So these all discussions we can have. Friends, please mute your microphones. Friends, please mute your microphones. So this is all we will be discussing about Socratic, and also we'll be talking about the Plato, because you have a book, very beautiful book on ideas or Plato's ideas. You can read that book also. I'll just share in your WhatsApp group the picture of that book so that you can buy that book and keep in your library. So these all details we can discuss at length, have a very beautiful discourse in our classrooms. How Socrates said, what Plato said, what is a virtue, what is a value, all these discourses let us initiate in the classroom. Let them refer various sources of textbooks, repositories, libraries, whatever they want to refer. Let them come back with the sources and we can have a neat discussion in our classrooms. Similarly, we discuss generally under epistemology the Serene Descartes, skepticism or skeptic method as a source of knowledge, so that you can extend further how this method of doubt and how this method of being skeptic, how you enhance the knowledge and process of acquiring knowledge, those things we can discuss. And he is also basically an idealist, and also Hume is also an idealist who talked about the complex ideas, how John Locke spoke about the simple ideas and Hume spoke about complex ideas. So this is what is considered under the Hume the problem of induction or skeptic method. So these two methods, skeptic method as a doubt method, these people have discussed at length on these things, for which you can refer Introduction to Western Philosophy given by Frank N. Tilly has given beautiful book on. It's a very old book. You can find the new edition also, but it is as good as the sacred text, like for the Western philosophy. You can read that all these aspects you can find in the history of Western philosophy by Frank N. Tilly. Then Kant is very well known as an idealist, but at the same time, he also spoke about priori, posteriori, and also critique of pure reasoning and transcendental method. These all things, and his ethics are also very, very important. So I may not go into the discourse of what they said. So, but this is very, very interesting for the students to enter into a very serious kind of intellectual debate in the classrooms. Otherwise, we are just giving trivial concept what we do in B.Ed level. We are not doing much at the M.Ed level to enter them into discourse processes. So this will help them. Really, it is not so easy. I have not given here critique of pure reasoning. I believe this is a very, very critical book written by Kant. It takes time. People say it takes time to understand this critique of pure reasoning. So we have taken the insights from this particular book, and only transcendental method is added here, and what ethics he spoke about. How he is a combination of experiential philosopher, idealistic philosopher, like that. All these a combination. He believed in experience. He believed in priori, posteriori, transcendental methods. It's a very complex kind of a philosophy of Kant. So let them also enter into this intellectual debate in the classrooms. Then Vedic, this from 5th onwards, you have the Eastern philosophies where Vedic Purusharthas, for Chaturveda Purusharthas. I don't need to explain this. All of you know, even at B.Ed we have added. We thought it can be a reinforcement and higher level of discussions can happen in a classroom. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, Chaturveda Purusharthas, we discuss about them, and we will try to relate them, how these 4 Purusharthas have a connect with your 4 ashramas, Yavana, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa. These things, of course, they look very old, but they are the reality of human life, and ultimately we need to understand the crux of our human life and human, elevation to the self-salvation. So these things, if they can understand, through the pedagogical things also we have added. This is again a kind of repetitive things from B.Ed to M.Ed. Let them also further understand the Shravana Manana Nidhi Dhyana. These are the basic pedagogical, pedagogies that they use all through their ancient Gurukul system, and even at the higher learning centers, they had further discussions and discourses with this background of Shravana Manana Nidhi Dhyana. It is not mere listening and then reading kind of thing. It is a very deep process of learning where the listen, it is not mere hearing, but it is a deep and a keen listening. How the child will focus through the concentration, focusing on that. They will try to reiterate on that and, have a reflection on that. And then they go for the kind of meditative level of thought process about the topics that they discuss, and then enter into discussions. Like that, we have Ekapata, Dvipata, Tripata, and Kandan Mandan. This also we have used even in the B.Ed curriculum, Kandan Mandan, where our friend Kishore always has a favorite method of Kandan Mandan. He says, in our earlier times, not nowadays when we say it is the proposition, in the West we have propose, oppose, and then you come out with a conclusion, or thesis, antithesis, and then thesis. So thesis, antithesis, and then you come out with a conclusion. So like that, the process of debates go in the Western Greek period, but in the East, in our approach, it is something different. If you can recollect Shankara's cinema, there the person comes out with a debate. He was disputing Shankara's Advaita. He did not say anything proposition. There he started with a Kandan, then Mandan happened, then Samvad happened. Samvad is where you have a discussion and discourse between the proposition and opposition. So this is the basic methodology, even not only in Greek, but also in East we had, but in a different fashion. They used to, like in science, some thesis is there or some theory is there. Somebody will oppose it and say, this is no more correct. I have a new proposal. So that is how you dispute, and then you propose something new, you prove it. That is the procedure is mostly it appears like scientific approach and a logical approach. So this is what Kandan Mandan Pratha. Pratha means the tradition. Tradition was followed in the ancient system of logic and also pedagogy and acquisition of knowledge. Then Mimamsa epistemology and Dharma. So we know Mimamsa is more of ritualistic kind of a philosophy, which speaks about the forestries, forestry kind of things where they used to have in the Mimamsa. You know about all the Shad Darshanas, atheism and theism. Theism, Shad Darshanas. We have the last, but one is the Mimamsa. We sometimes say Uttar Mimamsa and Purva Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa can also be called as Mimamsa, and Uttar Mimamsa can be called as Vedanta, where Upanishadic period is there. So mostly we are focusing on the Mimamsa epistemology, what they have actually given through these ritualistic aspects and how it is connected. Every ritual, whatever we do, the dharma we follow and righteousness we follow, and how we propagate this dharma through these forestries and rituals and other things. We have been discussing about Mimamsa philosophy. We will be focusing only the episteme and dharma related to Mimamsa in our discussion in classrooms. Then it is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. All of you know, I don't need to talk anything about these concepts. Both in psychological connotation and philosophical connotation, we are approaching these concepts from Bhagavad Gita, B.Ed level, and also, battery is running out. Yeah, I will talk.
Madam, can I share? Madam, can I share? Kindly use this book.
No. There is battery going out. I'm just connecting to battery. Now it's okay. No. Am I audible? Audible? Sure, am I audible?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
I'll continue from here. So this is where we talk about the Sthita Prajna, Nishkama Karma. I don't need to explain anything of these things because it is popularly known and well known to every one of us in India. So I skip that. You can read Bhagavad Gita, you understand all these things, but you take those chapters of what we say Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. These three things will take care. Karma Yoga will take care of Nishkama Karma and Sthita Prajna also. And also chapter 12 we have given even in B.Ed. Chapter 12, 13 to 19 shlokas which talk about these human virtues. So these virtues you try to work on that and then make some kind of discourses and discussions in the classroom. Let them recite them, memorize them, and do all those things, right? So they will help them to become really humanistic in their approach. So this is all we will talk about. We will activate it. We'll conduct some competitions, debates, and all in the college level, so that they become both B.Ed and M.Ed together. They learn them and they develop a lot of in-depth insights into Bhagavad Gita. It will make them real human beings. That's why real human beings. So we can really encourage the students to become more humanistic and more humane teachers. As our earlier draft NCT teacher education framework has given the, I can say the tagline on the top of that framework book, Humane Teachers. So like that, the values of epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata, this part, I think in the earlier curriculum also, we talked about epics, Mahabharata, Puran, Ramayana, all these things. Let us take the values. We are not going to make them to read whole Mahabharata and whole Ramayana. Let them once see from the videos or some movies are there on both of these things. Let them see it and write a narrative on that and try to reflect on the values that are presented when you talk about Rama, different characters, what kind of values they depict in this two epics. Only that part you focus. Don't go into the whole story of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Then in the 12th century philosophies and insights for education, we have given certain concepts as well as certain names of the philosophers in this. William James, all of you know, he is the propounder for the basic pragmatic philosophy, who has descended from Charles Sanders Peirce. Then William James came. He is basically a medical person, but he made a beginning to this pragmatic philosophy, which has been taken over by John Dewey as an educational philosopher for the pragmatic philosophy. So this chain we need to teach to our students, how basic pragmatic philosophy by Charles Sanders Peirce, he was influenced by Critique of Pure Reason of Kant, And that's how he started looking into this experiential part, and he wrote those books. From there, the insights were taken by William James. So that connect of that pragmatic philosophy of William James, and briefly about what kind of educational contributions he made, that part also we can take from him. Similarly, Bertrand Russell, we can talk about what is basic educational philosophy of Bertrand Russell, and also detailed discussions about what is his basic philosophical ideas also. Then we have logical positivism. We have discussed about logical positivism in another unit also, but here with reference to Alfred Ayer we will be talking, not from the Western connotation but from the Eastern connotation also. Alfred Ayer and radical humanism by M.N. Roy. These are some of the Eastern people we have added. Then Ivan Illich and Paulo Freire, you have been reading, writing, it is your cup of tea. You can again further discuss on them. Jyotirao Phule, well known. Ambedkar we had earlier. Aurobindo Ghosh also you are familiar with integral education and integral yoga. Here our focus is only on integral education. Then philosophy of Russell and Vivekananda make a comparative kind of understanding about how practical Vedanta of Vivekananda and philosophy of Russell. Please bring them together. Russell is known for his analytical philosophy. Please take that also into account. Then Upanishad philosophy of education, that also we have fundamental principles of Vedanta, where we talk about the impersonality, universality of supreme truth, divinity of soul. You know, this is a kind of a comprehensive note of understanding human self and also relating them to the context of existence and how it leads to the harmony through the religious aspects. So all these things, encapsulated way it was presented, the Vedantic principles through all these small concepts. So like that, transcendence of God, you know, all these are known to us, but specifically let us go from the Western connotation and also from the Eastern connotation. So this is fundamental Vedanta from the Eastern connotation. Then basic teachings of Upanishads also. We have given few selected Upanishads like the concepts like Atman, Brahman, nature of the world. Because the whole Upanishadic philosophy gives us what is the ultimate of ultimate is the whole gist of all the Upanishads. So some of them talk about self, some of them talk about world, some of them talk about realization. So these are all discourses and discussions, question and answer. These are various pedagogies used in all these Upanishads. So we will take these basic concepts of Upanishads and try to conduct some discussion in our classrooms. Then we have also mentioned one or two Upanishads, nature and nurture. How nature and nurture can happen, learning from the nature. All of us know naturalism, but we can also extend further about nurturing, how there is a connect between the nature and nurture. Then understanding this Ritha, the cycle, the natural law. You know, there are so many laws of nature through which I think about 15 principles, laws they mention in some of the texts, 6 laws they mention in some of the texts, whatever may be various approaches. Let us say the causal relations that are there. Causality is there in the world. How this nature and the world, you know, move without our interference. Nature has its own rhythm. You know, the cycle of nature has its own rhythm. So that's what we need to make them to understand. So our nature and the nature of the world, you know, there is a connection. We know about Panchabhuta and kind of connect between these two things. So that nature, the world, and ourselves. This kind of discussion we should bring into the classroom. Then we also discuss on Taittiriya Upanishad, Anandavalli. There we have taken the what is that? Convocation address at the B.Ed level. But here we brought one more, Anandavalli and Panchakosha theory. There in the Aurobindo Ghosh briefly speak about the integral education. Here you speak more from the philosophic point of Panchakosha theory, where all these 5 sheets you talk, not just from the philosophical kind of things. People have a different understanding that one kosha after the other kosha. We were listening from people. It is not like that. Together all koshas keep moving, like, you know, developing. But finally we go with the Anandamaya kosha. That transition, how it happens, how a healthy physical body to that of the internal self, it comes to the Anandamaya. So that transition we have to make them to understand through his Panchakosha theory. Then Shariraka Upanishad, this, you know, we may not be really knowing about these secrets of our food habits or whatever we eat, how our physiological system function. So these things are also mentioned in various Upanishads. There are 108, all of you know about the Upanishads, and the major Upanishads are around 13, but remaining all are minor Upanishads. Amongst these minor Upanishads, this Sharirika Upanishad is one, which talks about the body, about the Gnanendriya, Karmendriya. You can see this Gnanendriya, Karmendriya connection in the Sankhya philosophy. Also, you can connect to that. Apart from that, physiology of the body and psyche and character also has been discussed in this particular Upanishad. You can read it and understand and have discussion in the class. Similarly, Mandukya Upanishad, about the self, it has discussed, very beautifully done. I don't think I have time to talk in detail about that. We can know it, Mandukya Upanishad. You can listen to one YouTube video by Pranidananda. He has beautifully explained about the 4 states of our mind: awakened state, then sleep state, deep slumber, and then Turiya is the last stage they explain to make us to understand. But actually, Turiya is the original self. That is, in other words, I tell in 2 words: consciousness, being conscious, and having conscience. So this is what, in other words, they explain through this Upanishad. The smallest Mandukya is the smallest Upanishad with 14 verses. This particular verse speak about the self, or this whole Upanishad focus on the self. So that is the ultimate of all Upanishads we can see in this small Upanishad. Please try to discuss about this self and have an understanding about how important is this.
Enter. R-O-L space N-O space.
What happened?
I think somebody is disturbing, madam. No, nothing.
Please mute your things and don't move anything in your systems. It will affect the platform, right? Then we will go with the last unit on contemporary philosophical thoughts in education. These all, again, we have repeated this analytical philosophy and significance in education. There, with respect to one philosopher, here we are talking in general about analytical philosophy and its relation to education. Then we have added human rights, child rights, and positive discipline is there in B.Ed. But here we are talking about child rights perspectives and practices in education. Then we have Zygmunt Brown's philosophy of liquid. This also was there in the earlier curriculum. Indian Constitution, I don't need to talk to anything. NEP 2020. Let us take the gist philosophy of NEP 2020. Let them have one day seminar on this NEP 2020. 66 pages are there. Give 2 pages to each student or 1 page to each student. They all will come and present. The whole policy will be discussed in the classroom. Similarly, postmodernism, a new thing is added here. We also discuss about postmodernism even in sociological context. You can also speak in the philosophical context and connect it to the education. What is this postmodernism? All that you discuss with them regarding this postmodernism. What are the aims of education? What kind of teaching, critical thinking, production of knowledge, development of individual, social identity, self-creation. These concepts you discuss in light of this postmodernism. So these are the 5 units you have, all the references and engagement activities we have given. You can have even shatakas, you can have epics, you can have videos, have a video in the classroom, Ramayana video, Upanishad videos, all that videos you can play or share the videos. You can have a blended mode, let them view half an hour video, come back and discuss in the class. So various engagement activities you can take, which is allocated for your 30 marks for your paper. Please make them record on that, so that for assignment purpose, whatever 10 marks are there, that also you can add to this 30 marks also. So out of 30, they have given already, not here 30 marks, we have 40 marks for the internal assessments. So amongst those assignments and seminar presentations, for the 10 marks, you can use it under book review. Also, you can take various videos and stories and cinemas that also can be reviewed by the students in spirit of these topics. Let them come back and have a discussion, write the reflective note also on those things. So anything we can encourage them. So these all some possible things we have given. You can go beyond these suggested engagement activities. You can come out with the new activities also. And those Shed Darshanas and all those things we have included in B.Ed. So we have avoided those things except Mimamsa values. So this is all about first paper. Remaining all papers, I believe teachers have discussed before. And I'll go to the last point, last paper in this semester. That is on yoga and professionalism. There we have given you 3 units. 2 units are on yoga and one unit is on professionalism. These topics are also not very difficult for us to understand because yoga, and yoga systems, various traditions of yoga, So what we did is Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga and Ayush protocol was given more focus even at B.Ed level and also M.Ed level. By and large, after this 21st June declaration of this 21st June as the International Yoga Day, recognized by UNESCO. Now it has got a lot of recognition, and we are all going with our own tradition and making every student, teacher, and also teacher educator to learn basic yoga protocol, whatever are the asanas and pranayam and meditation techniques are suggested in that book. The manuals we have downloaded, literature we have downloaded, you can also download from Ayush Ministry web portal. It is available. Please download them, or else all those downloaded things I will share either on principals group or on B.Ed principals group. Please take them from there or directly download from the Ministry Ayush website. So this is where yoga sadhana and self-development will happen with the Ashtanga Yoga. I don't need to talk about Ashtanga Yoga because you know about Yama Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. These things we have been discussing in our M.Ed philosophy also and yoga also. So this is the one of the popular and oldest traditions of yoga. You teach them thoroughly about this, and also 15 limbs of yoga given by Tejo Bindu Upanishad. That also you can see these 15 limbs includes Ashtanga Yoga here and there, and little more things related to time, space, and other things are also added in this Tejo Bindu Upanishad. So let them also have a glance at this. And also Pranayama and Shat Karma as per the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. It's a popular book on Hatha Yoga written by, I think, B.K.S. Iyengar has written a popular book is available with all the postures and everything. So you read that. According to that suggested Shat Karma, that is 6 karmas, you have pranayama, along with that Shat Karmas are there, Niti, Nauli, like that we have Gajakarni, Netranuti, like that we have Shat Karmas are there. So those things also let the students know. This helps in keeping up their health and also overcome lot of health issues related to lungs and other parts of the body. So let them also have the Shat Karmas and also meditation as per the Dhyana Bindu Upanishad. It's a beautiful Upanishad focused only on the concentration and meditation. So please focus on the Dhyana Bindu Upanishad, the procedure that they have given, adopt to it, and then practice in the classrooms. Then diet of a yogi, that is, yogi doesn't mean a person sitting in the forest doing the meditation. It is a kind of becoming a yogi in the sense with the mitahara, yogic food we say, doesn't mean only you should eat fruits and then leaves, sit in the forest, but how we can bring into our day-to-day life this kind of mitahara and yogic diet, and how we can really bring that out of the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga. The fifth last Bahyanga Yoga is the Pratyahara. So that Pratyahara also we can be drawing the senses, attraction of the senses. Then what happens? We will be able to control our good habits and take good habits. Then also we should understand the Pratya and Apatya. Patya means what sometimes when we get some disease, in Ayurveda, they say you follow Patyam. Patyam means you eat only these food material for this particular purpose. So this Patya is like, suggestive medicine for the medicine like food for some cure of some of the problems which we get. So like that you have to maintain about this Patya and Apatya hara. That is what is good for health, Patya, and what is not good from problems you get, the Apatya. So normal food, and then when you need some control, this is Patya. These are things you please learn about in this diet of yogi. Then yoga as therapy, all of us, therapeutic value of yoga will be taught in this area. Everywhere, even including asana, pranayama, and meditation, these 3 dimensions have respective, asana and pranayama and meditation types and practices would lead to, cure some of the problems, health problems, and even the psychological problems, so many problems. So there are respective suggestive yogic practices are there. So those yoga practices for the curative purpose, curative measures we can take and use them. So that is what will be discussed in this particular small subunit. Then Ayush Common Yoga Protocol practice, this you take care from that. Then yogic practice for health and wellness, all these things where it is given. One more added point here is misconceptions of yoga, because many people have lots of misconceptions of yoga, whether it is religion or whether it should be practice or when it should be done, what is the ideal condition to do. So all those kind of misconceptions which are there in terms of religiosities, in terms of measures, whatever misconceptions are there, some people think yoga is an occult practice. Yoga is kind of mystery that they will do. So these are some kind of people. Yes, Kundalini yoga, there is occult practices are also there. So we are not talking about those kind of things. And we are not saying yoga as that kind of occult practices. That is also yoga, but not a positive kind of things. Some people use occult practices for the negative purposes. So we are not getting into those kind of misconceptions on yoga. Some people say it is glass grazing, cutting, something like that. People do a lot of gimmicks in the name of yoga. That is not the way we need to take into account this yoga. Only for the positive purpose we should take. That clarity purpose, this particular topic has been added. Then general guidelines for yoga practice also, how, when, where, these all condition rules, regulations, guidelines will be provided in the yoga Ayush protocol. You can see that manual, and also invocation prayer. We can call them loosening practices. They use the word. We can call them warm-up practices or warm-up exercise also. It can be done so that your muscular and skeletal and all the body gets, very elastic or flexible, so that you can get into postures and pranayama and meditation. That is the purpose of loosening practices. Then practice of yoga asanas as per common yoga protocol, whatever prescribed. Let us try to practice them and make our students to learn every day, practice it. At the last hour, as we said in the timetable, 4 theory papers, then 2 of these competency courses you have to take every day for the M.Ed students. Then professional development, we have added some of the professional issues related to our professional ethics. We know right from NCT document onwards, we are talking about professional ethics. So you talk about all those, whether you talk about the punctuality, regularity, integrity, all those you can collect lots of things. And also there are books and frameworks have come up on the professional standards. Take that UGC professional standards frameworks also, follow those things. And teacher professional standards, core values, what are there, what are the ethics, what is the professional knowledge and understanding, practices, competence, development, growth. These all things connect to the professionalism of the teacher or professional standards of the teacher. So these things you have to instill in them by the end of this particular course. Give some activities, exercises and practices and presentations, seminars. Through that you can instill all these characteristics amongst the teachers to become professional teachers. Then suggested mode for continuous professional development of teacher educators. You can use various modes, as I have been talking from the beginning: face-to-face mode, online mode, or distance mode. So these are the various ways where professional development is happening. Nowadays, a lot of online programs are happening. Face-to-face, of course, it is in place already. And then we have other continuous professional development activities. As NEP suggested, 50 are professional development courses should be offered for the higher education teachers. So this we have to take care through various modes, because all the things we cannot go with face-to-face. So some of them offer online, some of them through distance mode. So various ways through the repositories we can give. So other continuous professional development activities also, you can tell them how to enrich themselves professionally, like integration of technology, integration of art, or integration, various ways, physical, sports, everything, how we can really instill in the teacher various professional dimensions to develop through various activities. So the assessment parameters and assessment strategies, what kind of, how to assess them, maybe through rubrics or maybe through some ratings, various ways we can teach them how to rate and how to assess various assessment strategies and also assessment parameters. We should teach them how to assess the children to make it more professional and more objective and more transparent in our assessment procedures. That also leads to professionalism in the assessment processes. Then technology, this is another very important element added in this course. Technology use and integration teaching, where we have added digital education MOOCs, because we have been insisting on MOOCs. It is the order of the day. Then let them also know what is MOOCs, what is Swayam, what is Diksha, what is PM, E-Vidya, and what is Nishta. So right from school to teacher education to higher education, all these technology integrations help them to both professionally develop. We are saying professional development activities. Let them join into various courses through MOOCs on Swayam portal, and also use Diksha portal, use also PM eVidya and Nishta. These things will help them to access various repositories, videos, courses, and this learning will help them to really groom professionally. So technology, how to use for the professional development also has been added in this particular subunit. So all the engagement activities we have suggested, you can go much beyond these things. Some saliently we have mentioned, and some more suggestive references are given. Further, you can take some more. And these are extensive list of references and also websites and also books, online available books, practical activities, how it should be conducted, all that also mentioned here. For yoga activities, you write benefits of asana, all these 5 marks. These 30 marks has been distributed into these practical activities which you are supposed to do, compile them together, right? So this can be reduced to your 50 marks, 15, reduce it to 2, 5 marks. We have given marks, you can play your game, right? So these are all the things what has gone into the syllabus designing. Further, you are open, welcome for your suggestions, comments, and any queries, you can come out. Thank you. Any questions from audience side? Teachers on the platform?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
This
please.
is Kiran Mai.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I actually searched very much for books, ma'am, on online, but I am not able to find any.
About what?
About the,
Curriculum.
first semester books, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Which subject? Philosophy?
Yeah. Each subject I wanted to purchase, but I am not able to find it online
No.
or
See,
outside.
Wait. See, this is not just text material or text-based books we have referred. We have given a list of references, right? So you can refer online through Google, through various websites, because most of the things, going with the, help of repositories and good reference books, you can go for. We have given no list of reference books. You can look into those reference books, and also openly you can search through Google or advanced Google or some websites available where you can go to specialized websites and collect the materials, right? And whatever best we can do, best thing what you can do is you distribute them to your students, each topic to one student, make it as an assignment and presentation, right? So this helps you to make
But I
this.
am also a student, no, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, you are a student.
Yeah, I am a student, ma'am.
Okay, fine. From student point, I'm talking from teacher point of view. As a student, you please do it. Do the surfing and try to explicate the materials available. Take help of all your friends. One day, only one student cannot do. There are 5 units, maybe approximately 50 topics we have. We are 50 M.Ed students. Each student in subject, one topic. How much time does it take?
Yeah.
In a month's time, you will be with hundreds of repositories on your hand. So this all you bring to the classroom, make your teacher as your co-learner, all of you collaborate, cooperate, and try to make a beautiful text on each and every paper within 2 months, I tell you. And 1.5 to 2 months, you discuss extensively on all the topics. Every day, every student, 5 minutes discussion. How beautiful the classrooms will be. Think about it. So we need all your student cooperation. All 50 should be every day present on toes with hell of material on their head and hand. Then I think we all will really make a beautiful workshop in our classroom every day. Don't you think?
Yeah.
This is the spirit of this syllabus, as well as student-centric, self-directed, self-guided learning approaches. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So anything else you have, any pertinent question or suggestion, something like that, if you have, you can come forward. If we know, we will give, because we are also experimenting with all this syllabus. It's not that we have authority. We are also learning with you. We are also procuring. We are also struggling. This is a process of learning. All of us are venturing into new era of learning. With the new revision, when we make, some books are there, some books are not there. Our mind should act. Our, thinking should go. This is a process of learning, right? So this inquiry-based learning, let us all try to do it, right? Okay. So any more questions or no questions? Already we are so much, 5 o'clock it is already. If there are no questions or suggestions, I'm not only asking for questions, I'm asking for the suggestions. Madam has something to say. Okay. So anybody, Lalita, anything you want to add? కిషోర్ ఏమన్నా యాడ్ చేస్తావా? నువ్వేమన్నా మిస్ అయిందా? Contended, not contended.
Nothing, madam. Nothing. Everything.
Okay.
Actually, the post-graduation expected that all the students must refer the authentic books. There are many available, as well as they must go through the online
repositories.
options.
Repositories.
Yeah, by that they can prepare what is running notes from the class, as well as they can prepare the material through the library and various websites.
Yeah, I gave a very simple technique now. They should use this. Within no time, everybody will be empowered. Kishore, hope you followed what I said to student. Answer,
Yes,
the same answer. Yeah. So I think, shall we call it a day? Yes. With all those, whatever small changes, somewhere here and there, I observed that those things we will rectify them and pass on to you with the remaining syllabi, and we'll continue with this spirit for this semester. And I request one of our teachers to propose vote of thanks, formal vote of thanks. She did not speak so far anything. No? Chapan, propose vote of thanks. Only you left. Ikara, come here. Present your formal vote of thanks will be proposed by Dr. B. Sujata, who is also your psychology expert. Okay. అన్నం తినలే పిల్లగాడు. Good evening to everyone. This is Dr. Sujata, Department of Education, Osmania University. I thank all the universities on the behalf of principal of the department, head of the department, and BOS of the department, and all the faculty members. Thank you, everyone. Formal vote of thanks. Thank everybody. All the universities. So, with the permission of all the stakeholders on the platform, I take leave. Thank you very much for all your cooperation. Thank you.